So if you had any kind of a childhood, you've probably heard of Lego. You know, it's a fairly small company that make these little brick things that you can put together, kind of like building blocks. And you can make almost anything with Lego. Houses, Hogwarts, the Death Star, loving parents. You know, pretty much anything you can think of. Where I grew up, almost everyone had these Legos, and I was no exception. They played a huge part in my life, and almost killed me. And today, boys, we're gonna talk about that. Now, my people on the tube. According to YouTube statistics, yes, you watching this right now, are not subscribed to the channel. I mean, that's crazy. Like, everyone's doing it. Do you really want to be the odd one out? But seriously, boys, if you do enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing, as that does really help me out and encourages me to keep on making these videos. There are all types of Legos. Star Wars, The Simpsons, even Minecraft. Since Lego has a brand deal with pretty much every company on Earth, it's no surprise they're making around $7 billion per year. And I think I know why. I don't know if this is the case for the rest of the world, but Lego is ridiculously expensive here in Australia. If I want a singular red brick, that's gonna cost me $5. I mean, I'm still gonna buy it, but like, come on. At this point you're probably thinking, Dewey, why are you telling me this? Well, I've suffered a lot of heartbreak over the years, my friend. But none have been worse than when someone got in between me and my Legos. So I have a dog called Marlou. She's absolutely adorable, and I love her to death. But that didn't stop her from crushing my dreams. When I was around 10 years old, my grandparents got me this massive Lego police set for Christmas. And it was simply breathtaking. It had a police tower, a prison, a helicopter. It just had everything. So the only logical thing to do was to build it straight away. Have you ever gotten a Lego set and not built it straight away? I played with this thing non-stop. And when we took it from my grandparents' house to my house, we had to take it apart and put it in boxes just so that it would fit in the car. Like, it was fucking huge. So then we got back home, and then I put it back together again. Now, back in the day, I had a relatively small room. And it just really couldn't support just the absolute massive girth that this Lego set was packing. So I played with it out in the lounge room, on a table that's about the same height as my knees. And I was playing with it one morning, when my mum dragged me away from my precious baby to go to school. Now, the whole day at school, I was bragging to just all these women about this amazing Lego set. And I was hyping myself up for when I would play with it again when I got home. But when I did get home, I was met with an awful sight. I opened the door, and I just see these Lego bricks chewed up all over the floor. And from the way I screamed, you would have thought someone had been murdered. Actually, I might have preferred that. Someone had ruined my Legos, and they were gonna pay. I studied that crime scene for a few moments, and immediately knew that my sister had chewed the Lego. I was pissed, and I was storming towards her room like there was no tomorrow. But as I was walking down the hallway, I noticed that my dog was starting to cower. I'm no veterinarian, but I'm pretty sure that when a dog cowers, they know they're fucked up. So she's backing away all scared and shit. And I'm like, no, surely not. After some intense forensic analysis, and by forensic analysis I mean shoving the Lego in her face until she panicked, I knew I'd found my culprit. In total, she would have only chewed about 15 pieces. But they were all pieces in a separate part of the set. The blade of the helicopter, the part of the watchtower that makes it spin. There was no mercy. And the thing is, this wasn't the first time she'd done something like this. We used to go to this library near our house, and we'd just come back with a bag of books and movies and all that good stuff. And without warning, she chewed all of it. And then the library freaked out and charged us like $1,000 for 6 things. And don't even get me started on the taxes. Anyway, fast forward a few years, or backwards, I really can't remember. And it was Christmas again. But this year, I was really, just absolutely sick as hell. I spent Christmas night just in bed throwing up, and it was awful. But what did make my Christmas a little better was another huge Lego set. I'm not sure who gave it to me, but it was an insane Pirates of the Caribbean Lego set. And similar to the last one, just had everything. Except the last one didn't have zombie mermaids. Now, I wanted to build this thing straight away, but I thought, no, I should rest. But you best believe that the next day I got up and built the shit out of that thing. But because this thing had so many moving parts, it took me a week to finish. And in the time span of that week, I had to move the Lego operation and commence building at home. This time around, my parents had a table that I put in my room so I could sneak out of bed and work on it for optimal efficiency. Holy shit, I sound like such a nerd. After a week's worth of work, I'd finally finished my masterpiece. It was Saturday morning, and I was just waking up when my sister burst into my room demanding that I look after a plastic baby named North Road with her. And yes, that bit's true. She named a baby after a road. She's just really fucking stupid. And you know what I said? I said no. I had important things to do. And looking after a child was not one of them. My sister, she didn't take this too well. It was one of the odd occasions where they're not mad at you, just disappointed, which I preferred greatly. She kind of just stood there, saying nothing. She then walked over to the Lego set. I mean, it was more of a one-man set, but I guess she could play. But then, without saying anything, she lifts up her hand, eyes still looking down. She winds up and punches my Lego set! What the fuck? What the fuck? Because of the incident, I get PTSD every Saturday from the horrific events that unfolded on that day. It's kind of like when a soldier returns from war, except what I saw was just so much worse.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
Now boys, you probably want to know how Lego almost killed me, right? Is that the only reason you clicked on the video? Well, you don't need to wait any longer. This story takes place when I was about 8 or 9, and I was just chilling and building some random crap from the bricks I owned. And when you accidentally attach something to the wrong Lego piece, it can be a nightmare to take apart. Lego obviously knows that now, and they have these things that are meant to be perfect for removing bricks from one another. But here's my hot take. They are useless. And 9-year-old me knew that. So being the young innovator I was, I just tore them apart with my teeth. But the thing about Lego is that the pieces can be really tiny. So I was going about my business, separating 2 pieces from one another, when one of the pieces falls into my mouth and goes straight for my windpipe. And it gets stuck. So at this point, I'm kind of panicking. because I hadn't exactly choked on anything before, and no one in my family knows the Heimlich maneuver. So I prayed. I prayed to Chunks that I would be okay. And boys, he responded. The Lego came flying back out my mouth, and I was wheezing and shit. But I was alive, and I would never make the same mistake again. Until the coin incident.
CC on the track, boy.